it was your typical first day. We had a lot of stuff that we can look back and learn from, but I also think that there were a lot of positives and a lot of things that that we can grow from, and stuff that we can put together to win football games.
How do you feel this offense fits your skill set?
It just allows me to have control of it. If I see something that can get us out of plays, get us into better plays, certain coverages, certain fronts, that type of thing. So just my ability to do that. I think that's a good answer for that.
I think probably the verbiage is different, but are there a lot of similarities, or maybe not, from what you had at Western?
Yeah, the verbiage isn't different at all. It's the same. So I didn't have to learn. I maybe had to learn 2-3 new wrinkles that he's thrown in from his time at Tech, but other than that, everything's been the same. So it's been super easy to just go out there and teach everybody and that kind of thing.
How does it feel to finally be able to get coached by Kid?
Awesome. Loved it. Loved being out there with him. That's my guy, and it was everything that I expected it to be.
Can you talk about the relationship you've built with Coach Kitley on top of that familiarity you've had with him coming into FAU?
Yeah, definitely since I've gotten here. I had a good relationship with him and his family when he was at Western Kentucky, and I never actually got to play for him. So our relationship was more of my dad works with you and that kind of thing. So. But now just being around him, like he's really one of the guys, and like Cam was saying, he treats everybody the same, or Wendol, I don't know who was saying it for me, but he treats everybody the same, and so that's been really awesome to see, and the guys in the building respect him for that.
Caden, what are some things you're trying to improve on heading into your junior year?
I got to clean my feet up a little bit. There's stuff that Kit wants me to do, and he's having me do with my feet that are a little different than what I'm used to. But it's helped me, and because at Western Kentucky, I was pretty much every drop I was taking was a one in the shuffle, and there's been certain concepts that Kit's been like, hey, like I need you to take this drop. It's going to time out better for when you move on in your progression, that kind of thing. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, just my feet.
Caden, Easton's obviously your guy coming from Western Kentucky, but has there been anyone else in that wide receiver room that you've, maybe in practice, outside of practice, that you developed a quick connection with?
All of them. They've all been great, to be honest. Dom had a really good day today, and JR had another good day today. But really all of them, like those two come to mind, but they've all been doing a nice job, and I've been able to build a relationship with all of them as well.
Speaking of building relationships, I know in the off season, not necessarily maybe in the weight room, but when you guys were throwing on your own, you really seemed to be the guy that took charge and sort of ran things. Is that your personality, or did you feel that because there's so many new guys and you're new here that was really necessary?
It's my personality, but it's also, I think that comes with playing quarterback. And whenever Kid recruited me, he said, this is what I want you to come in and do. And so that, I think that's part of it, just bringing guys in and saying, hey, we're throwing it this time, we're doing this extra. And, I'm a big, like, hey, if you want to work, you're going to show up. I'm not going to force you to come out there. And, most of our guys were coming out there to do extra stuff when we would have extra throwing sessions and that type of thing. So that was really good to see. And like I said, most guys were coming out, so then I get to figure out, who really wants to play, who wants to be that guy. And there were a lot of guys that were showing up. So it's just creating competition in that room.
Caden, quarterback play has been a little up and down the last couple of years, some of it due to injury. The opportunity to bring stability to the position and lead an offense, what does that mean to you?
I'm super excited. I got to go out and do my job every week, and and that's win ball games. So as long as we're going out and we're winning games, I'm doing my job.
Caden, when you went through your portal process, just what are some of the things that you chose, or what were some of the reasons why you chose FAU as your destination?
Coach Kitt, he was the main reason that I came here. Just wanted to play an offense that had some stability, and I knew exactly what I was going to get from Kitt and what we were going to do and that type of thing. So I knew there wasn't going to be any disconnect, and I think that was my big thing. And so also having a prior relationship with him obviously helped as well. But I think that was one of my main things, and then just it being in this great place in Boca Raton, like that's just an added bonus to come here.
One of the things that Florida players usually pride themselves on is the speed. Have you noticed a difference in speed of the players here as opposed to maybe somewhere else that you've been, or is it about what you expected?
I don't. The Florida kids are probably getting mad, but I don't think it's a big difference. We had a lot of Florida kids at Western Kentucky, though. You know, we kind of recruited the same. I think both schools recruited the same areas. All our kids were from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and that's where most of our kids are here. But I don't think there was a big difference. And you know, like I played Florida teams at Western Kentucky. I played FIU and FAU my freshman year, so I don't think the speed is that different.
Caden, want to also ask about Jordan Magwood, just, you know, as a freshman, what are some of the things that you like from him, seeing him out there, and then, you know, as a veteran, just what are some of the lessons that you've been telling him as he navigates through this new journey?
Yeah, he wants to learn. The first day he showed up, like he was asking questions, getting accustomed to, you know, the college lifestyle and being on his own. And you know, I remember being in that situation and graduating early, and you know, like getting out of practice and being like, well, I can do whatever I want now. Like I'm, you know, obviously go to class and that kind of thing, but just telling him to be diligent about his work and that kind of thing. But he's doing a great job. Like I don't need to tell him that because he already knows, and he's super mature for his age. And when we're in meetings and that type of thing, he's asking questions, and you know, if he doesn't know, he's making sure that he gets it right and that type of thing. So he's really gone about his business like a pro, and usually you don't see that from young kids.
Caden, Zach Kitley, first-time head coach, also offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at the same time. How have you seen him kind of balance all three of those while also, you know, worrying about the team as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, he's with us, with the quarterbacks and the offense most of the time. But, you know, like when we go to special teams, he's running around, and Coach Basie's over with us doing his thing. So, I mean, that's what he wanted, and he's doing a really good job of it so far.
So basically coming back, I just think it was based off like, you know, my first D1 experience. I wouldn't say it was the greatest. So I would like to, you know, have a chance to run it back with the teammates I love, especially like Jay Will. I feel like me and him deserve another chance to run it back and have a better year together. And then I guess this spring is going amazing. Everybody has a better attitude. The coaches are great. Everybody positive. Nobody's cussing at each other mad. Everybody is having great, being fun together. It's like a big family. Like we all been together for a couple of years, and you wouldn't even know it.
Wendell, you mentioned the negative experience last year. Would have been easy for you to potentially hop in the portal and find another D1 program, but you stayed here. And so what's that relationship like with your teammates that also stayed to want to try to, you know, build that culture and build something up right here at FAU?
Okay, so I think it goes into basically just starting over. I'm not very much to starting over, but when Jay Will, I called him to make my decision. He was basically talking to me and saying like why would you leave? And everybody coming back, stuff like that. We got a better team, we got better coaches. Well, not better, but you know, like a higher coaching staff. And you know, it wouldn't be fair for me to leave Jay Will because Jay Will was like a brother to me, and just leave him out the job. We got a young DB core, so me coming back, being able to give the younger guys a mentor to look up to and just help them develop in their games. So that's basically my decision to come back.
Wendell, going from NAIA to D1 last year, and you made some plays, you battled some injuries, but I don't know if you felt the need that you had to prove that you could play at that level, but what did last year do for your confidence in playing at the D1 level?
Well, I guess if you check the stats, you see I started off a little slow because it was different speed of the game, different environment. You go from 2,000 fans to 70,000 your next first game in Michigan State. And I'll be a fool to say I wasn't like starstruck or it didn't faze me a little bit. So I guess me just warming up into the new environment and just developing with the speed of the game. Everybody going fast tempo, not getting on the ball, getting the call. More complex defense, more complex offense going against better players. And the trench is bigger, stronger, faster. So I guess me being able to know that I can still play with them gave me like a whole lot of new confidence.
Wendell, you mentioned like a more positive vibe around practice, and it is one practice, but is there a difference in, you know, like the speed, the tempo, the competition in your first practice this year?
I wouldn't say it's more of a, yes it is. I feel like our quarterback and receiver are faster. Our quarterback is more decision making. He make us think. Our offense is more complex. You know, they got option routes here and there where you could or you think you're one route, but it's not over because they can just break it down at any moment. So it helps me know that to stay on my P's and Q's and just be focused and stay focused with my teammates and making sure our defense is the best defense next year.
How's your body?
Currently, I feel great, but I'm old, so I want to see how long it lasts in the next couple of days.
I know you were banged up a little bit towards the end of last year. You had to hobble through it like a couple other guys did. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah, it was hamstring injuries, but Bill and Maddie been helping me. I've been working through it on every day, so we're gonna be very good this year.
How would you describe Coach Kitley so far?
I'd say he's amazing. He's probably the best coach I had this far, and I only met him for like 2-3 months, so I appreciate him.
Wendol, you talked about the new offense. With the new defense, obviously it's early in spring ball, but have you noticed any drastic changes, or is it kind of similar concepts?
I'll say it is drastic changes because now I'm not in the fit. I'm like more out the fit, and I'm playing more of a corner safety role instead of like in the fit linebacker safety role. So I say it's a big difference, and then we got a whole bunch of moving pieces. So I say it's a bit different.
There's been a couple guys, especially in the secondary, that from the end of last year to where we are today, y'all look completely different. How would you say new strength coach, new different strength training? How would you say that your experience has been so far in the new weight room?
Well, my experience has been great. I've been seeing guys get bigger. I even gained like 8 pounds just purely off weightlifting and stuff like that, and I appreciate them with conditioning, helping us get back in shape, getting bigger. Because sometimes we run a lot, you lose weight, but here you still gaining and maintaining the same muscle mass. And even Mike Wright and everybody else getting bigger and stronger, so I appreciate them.
And then being kind of an older guy in the locker room, especially in a young team. I was trying to be nice. But being an older guy in a very young DB room, how have you seen yourself kind of step into that leader mentorship role with some of the early enrollees and young guys?
All right. Well, the one guy that I'm really sticking to and making sure he gets right before I leave is Damon Allen. He just came from I forgot what high school, but West Boca. Yeah, I like Damon Allen. He plays nickel too. I'm making sure we got a class together also. I don't know if you knew that. So me and him got class together. I make sure he goes to class. I make sure he my bad, Caden messed me up, but I make sure he's focused on the field. We get extra work together. I study the playbook with him. I make sure he knows what play he's going through, because sometimes it's faster than high school, so I'm trying to get lost in his mind and might try to overcomplicate it, but I still tell him, like, at the end of the day, it's just football. It might be faster, bigger guys, but at the end of the day, you've been playing this sport for the longest, so it's just keep it simple.
What do you like the most about Danny's game?
The most, I like that he's confident. He's confident. You don't see that most freshmen. They're nervous. They don't really move that fast. They move slow. They try to overcomplicate stuff. But him, he's really composed, and I like that.
Wendol, you just mentioned that Coach Kitley is probably the best coach you've had to this point. Just what about him has impressed you so much in his short time here?
I'll say his leadership. I'll say that he treats everybody as one. Like some coaches, they'll treat their stars like stars and treat walk-ons like walk-ons. But he treats a walk-on like he's a star. You wouldn't know it that he's the guy, or if he's not the guy, unless you just come to practice and see. So I appreciate that.
What I was looking for is just like a team that work hard, a coaching staff that work hard. I just want to be surrounded by people that really just work and don't make excuses for real. That's kind of what I've been brought up around, excuses and stuff like that. But some things that really surprised me was how fast the team connected and got together. Even though it was new coaches, new players, everything was really new. So that really surprised me in a big way, but in a positive way though.
Hardest question of the day, how'd you get your nickname?
My grandma. My grandma gave me my nickname. So I was in middle school, was going to school. My cousin called me that in front of everybody at school. So they just ran with it. And then I just started liking it, so I felt like it had some swag, so I just kept it. I'm going to it.
We don't list it on the website, but if you could let everybody know what your nickname is.
Nickname Duda, D-O-O-D-A.
Duda. Duda, how would you describe yourself as a corner? What style you feel plays to your strengths?
I would say I'm balanced, I'm all over. I got knowledge, I got size, speed, I'm physical. I'm smart, I'll just say I'm balanced everywhere.
Building off that, what corners in the NFL do you like to kind of learn from and watch their game?
I would say at first it was Jalen Ramsey, because I didn't play like corner. I didn't really care about corners at first. And then I would say Sauce Gardner, like right now. Yes, sir.
For the DB room as a whole, is there kind of a mindset, a common goal amongst the group? And if so, could you share it with us?
Yes, sir. I would say our mindset is to just like be great at your job, and also like know what everybody else has, just in case like your brother don't know what's going on this play. Like have everybody back, like be together and just like strive together. Like that's really our mindset.
With Coach Dewhurst, it's his first time being a defensive coordinator too. What have you kind of gotten from him so far in your time with him? And have you noticed at all that he's a first-time DC, or is there no difference?
Really, like I like how he coaches. Like it's fun sometimes, and then you know when it's time to get to business. So I feel like to be a coach, like you have to have that type of like switch, like on and off. Like you can't just be drill all the time, like. Or you can't play around too much, you feel me? So he mixed in the middle, like I feel like he's doing a great job for sure.
What were some of those lessons that you learned from your 2 seasons at the P4 level that you can take to, your time at FAU now?
I would say being early to everything. I would say making sure you look presentable. I would also say like be you, but also be aware of your surroundings. Like you never know who you may meet out. You never know who you may see. So always like represent yourself and your team like the right way.
Is there a player that you went against at your time at Purdue that you're like, that was the best player that you played so far in college?
In college, best player. I would say I would have said Marvin Harrison, but it wasn't really tough like to guard him. But I don't know his name, number 9 from Michigan or Minnesota, whoever that is. Like, I feel like he's nice. Like yeah, he was like shifty, little short dude. Like I feel like he was like the toughest to guard for sure.
There's a big debate around the state of Florida of what region produces the best talent. I'm from South Florida, so I'm going to say South Florida, but obviously Orlando talent is damn
I'm going Orlando for sure. Like I'm 100% biased. Like
what makes Orlando football players?
I would say the grit. Like we never had nothing like our teams. Like as you can see, like other schools, they might have coaches that came from the NFL and they young. Or like they may have more money than us, but we don't really care. Like we just gonna play football. Like the jerseys don't matter, none of that matters to us. So I just feel like we get down and dirty. Like you feel me? Yeah.
Anyone else?
What was the process like ultimately when you're in the portal and then deciding I can come back and be 2-3 hours away from home and go out and ball here at FAU? What was that process like?
Yeah, the process was. I was freezing in Indiana. And my coaches was gone, so I just made a choice. Like I know, like wherever I go, I'm gonna be the same person. Like I'm gonna try my best. Like I'm gonna do what I gotta do to be on the field, to be the dude. So really, it was just not even about the distance. Like it was just about knowing like that I could just be the dude wherever I go.
I was blessed with the opportunity to come here. Shout out to Coach Lunsford. He came and gave me an offer last minute. I was at a JUCO, Georgia Military College. And from there, I came the last 2 weeks of fall, and I was blessed to, they fed me good. I gained about 20 pounds. Came in at 205, gained weight, and I was able to play at a higher level. Coming from a JUCO, it was challenging, because I faced a lot of people who's been in the D1 world, and I just got out of high school and went to a JUCO, so it was a different environment. But from December to now, new coaching staff came in, strength staff. They've been pushing me hard to gain weight and do the things I need to do, getting extra work, just trying to strive to be the best. But I will say, from December to now, it's just been positive, been going up from there.
Will this offense require a lot more from the tight ends than maybe what the previous offense did?
Most definitely. As a tight end, it's you have to know everything as far as what the X, H, Y does. You have to know where the running back's going. You have to know the O-line, the schemes, gap schemes. So it's a very important role, and it's just you have to know your stuff. You got to know your stuff. So we are big key factors in the offense.
Cam, some new additions in the tight end room alongside you. How do you go about, getting to know those guys, but while also establishing yourself as, hey, I'm still here, I'm trying to compete as well?
So the number one thing is football is a team sport. So no matter what, no matter how you feel or how something may seem, it's best to come together and learn from each other. So Khalil Brantley, he's an older guy. He's the older guy in our room, and I've learned so much from him. It's best to just sit down and really talk and know people. And we have a transfer, Reed. He came from South Carolina. He's also he's been around the game for a while, so it's just best to learn from those guys and just continue to grow together as a unit.
Okay, new coach as well, Coach Jawan Galini. What do you like about him?
Oh, he's a go-getter. He's not going to let you buy easy. And as a tight end and as somebody that wants to be better, you have to have somebody that wants better for you as well. And he's going to hold you accountable. He's going to push you hard. And if we want to be where we need to be, we need somebody just like that.
Cam, you're the second one who's mentioned how quickly the team has built chemistry. How has Coach Kitley and the staff as a whole gone about trying to connect with the locker room?
So we have something called the power of touch. So everywhere we go, whether it's just we're passing by each other, give them a high five, or we just got done running and the person's done, he's tired, and you see he's down, pick him up. So I guess we built a brotherhood that is usually built in a year in a few months. So I feel like that is going to be our edge come season time. Definitely, bro.
Okay, so I understand it's early, day one of install, but early on, what are some of those things that you like about this new offense?
I like that they put the tight end out one-on-one with a corner. I love running routes, so just as much as I do blocking, but as a route runner, being able to be versatile and be here and there, that's very important, and I like that right there. I like it.
The tight ends are used in a multitude of ways, you're saying?
Sir?
The tight ends are used in a variety of ways, outside, as an H-back.
Yeah, we're used everywhere. We're sometimes in the hip of the tackle. Sometimes we're in the backfield as a running back. So we do everything.